you don't take that leap, it's not gonna happen. We're here to support you, just my mentor. I taught all of that to Kyle. He's made over $3 million. His top student's on the plane. We are so proud of those accomplishments. We are going to make sure that we give you our best. Get in the millionaire roadmap.
I want to see you on this jet with us next time. It's awesome, and you can totally do it.
You love
Join
jets
us right
too.
now.
You love jets too. Admit it.
You just don't know it.
What? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Josh here. As you know, if you're familiar with this channel whatsoever, I love investing. I'm just obsessed with this idea of building businesses and creating financial independence, but I'm nervous, and I'm really nervous for the future generations of investors, and maybe even seniors and people who are just starting to see how the world of investing is now merging with the internet and what problems that causes. But I think, you know, if we look at TikTok investors, or we look at all these different services online that are going to teach you all about how to get rich, it's just mind-blowing to me. This reminds me, one of my heroes, Josh Brown, he's with a company called Ritholtz Wealth Management. He's one of the best people on the internet if you want to learn more about finance and investing, and he raises this fantastic point. You may have heard of a guy named Jim Simons, and there was a book written about him called, I think it's like The Man Who Solved the Market. It is a fantastic book. You may have heard of Warren Buffett and all these other big investors. They are all just tiny compared to Jim Simons. You may have never even heard of this guy, but his returns, they crush Buffett, they crush Peter Lynch. Like, he crushes the performance of most great investment managers that we consider today. I think at some point Jim Simons was getting like 60% returns a year, and he was able to turn, you know, hundreds of millions into billions and billions of dollars in like a very short span. And he was known as, kind of like I said in the title of the book, the man who solved the market. Except the moral of the story is that he didn't. You see, Jim Simons is like one of the smartest people who has ever gotten into finance. He has a PhD in mathematics. He helped come up with string theory, from what I understand. He contributed to string theory, and he worked at the NSA to help crack codes. He is a master of pattern recognition, and he also helped do things like develop voice recognition for IBM. Like, these things are insane. Very, very smart guy. And the real story behind Jim Simons and Renaissance Technologies, his hedge fund, it's not about him solving the market, actually. The moral of the story is he was a fantastic manager, and he knew that markets are an adaptive thing. You can't solve it. There's no solving the market, because when everybody moves into one strategy, it gets overcrowded, and then you have to find a different strategy. This is what Renaissance found. This is what Jim Simons found. He was able to hire people around him who were able to identify an edge in the market, and then they would absolutely just abuse it over and over again to get these massive returns. The crazy thing is, sometimes Jim Simons didn't even know what he owned in the portfolio. He didn't really know all that much about investing. He knew a ton about math, pattern recognition, and the moral of the story is he was a great manager, and he did not crack the code of the market. So when we start to think about what we're seeing today with fake trade, like these trading gurus who they're gonna give you the secret to the market that's gonna allow you to turn 5 grand into $250,000 or retire in 3 years guaranteed, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna sell it to you for $50 a month. All you gotta do is pay $50 a month. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. If the guy who contributed to string theory and all these great things had to essentially he actually stepped down this last year. I mean, the performance was great, but if he admits that he didn't solve the market, neither did Joe Blow, private jet, $50 a month stock subscription guy. So where does this bring us? Well, last month, a company called Raging Bull was actually sued. They were sued for defrauding investors and their clients of $137 million or more. And if I look at, like, when I had heard about Raging Bull, I hadn't done a ton of research into them. The reason I'm here is I'm trying to save you time, okay? I'm not here trying to tell you, oh, go with a professional, you know, find a financial advisor. What I'm here to do is try to save you 5 years of my life that I spent smashing my head against the wall trying to become a great trader until I realized that it's fake. It doesn't exist. These get-rich-quick schemes are someone else trying to get rich off you. But anyways, Raging Bull, what is it? Well, it's this company that you subscribe to for all of their stock picks. They have these wonderful, you know, mentors who are gonna teach you with options and with leverage how you're going to be able to multiply your wealth quickly, consistently, and I think one of the things they say is with no expertise, no background in the market. Like, come on, there's two types of people here. There's the type of person that should know better and just kind of wants this to be true and is willing to pay just to maybe buy a lottery ticket and see if they can hit it out of the park. And then there's people who don't know better. You know, one of the things they found when they went to sue this company, which we'll get to, is a lot of their customers were senior, it was the elderly, and it was immigrants who come to America and see it as the land of opportunity. And Raging Bull, this teaches people how to be rich. Maybe this is the ticket in America. These were the sorts of people they were appealing to. And what they found over time, and what the court eventually found, is they sued Raging Bull for having completely bogus claims. None of their clients really made money. So very quickly, let's talk about what Raging Bull was. It's essentially a subscription site where you go and you pay a monthly fee to get set up and get all of their signals for how to time the market and how to buy into different stocks at different times, where you can easily and consistently, for a low price, learn how to beat the market. And this stuff drives me mad. It drives me insane because, case in point, we had a story last week. Melvin Capital, GameStop, this whole shenanigans, right? This whole big story that happened. You think that these hedge fund managers who are paid billions of dollars per year and hire massive teams can't crack the code of the market, yet you're gonna sign up for Raging Bull and they're gonna tell you exactly how to do it. Here's something you need to understand. Investment strategies are kind of like traffic. You know, you're in traffic and it's backed up, but the lane beside you is like going super fast. You're like, what's going on with that lane? I gotta get into that lane. So you switch into that lane, and just as you're switching into that lane, everybody else is switching into that lane. And what that means is the lane you're switching into is gonna slow down. So then people start switching into the other lane, and that one slows down. The markets work like this. When there is an edge that's available, or there's some sort of strategy that's available, all of the people in the market will rush to that strategy to make as much money as possible before that edge disappears. And that's why this Raging Bull stuff is complete garbage, and why all trading programs are complete garbage. Because if you have some arbitrage opportunity in the market where you can consistently make money, there is no way in hell you would ever tell people about that. Because the second it gets out there that this is a valid strategy, and the second that people start putting volume, I mean lots of money behind these trades, which they will, that edge completely disappears. If it even existed to start with. Now, what companies like Raging Bull do, and what I fell into in my late teens, was FOMO. And I think FOMO, fear of missing out, is the #1 destroyer of great investment performance. It's what leads you to think, you know, my investments are just not doing enough. You know, look at all these people out there getting rich, and if I just sign up for this $50 a month course, like they're gonna teach me. And with all this stuff going on in the markets right now between GameStop and Bitcoin, there's this frenzy, and there's gonna be all these new investors driven towards the market who get excited about getting wealthy. We had a story with this GameStop investor who tuned $50,000 into $25 million. The #1 bug and thing that bothers me about financial markets is they convince us that we can get rich quick just because somebody else did. But there's a really important quote that I actually remember by a guy named Nassim Taleb, who is an incredible finance writer. And he says that massive drastic success can be attributable to variance. It's just randomness, whereas moderate success is attributable to skill. So in a domain where things are kind of random, if you're having lights out success, it means it's luck. And if you're having consistent slow success, it means there's some sort of skill there. And like, you should have been able to see this. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you're not a sophisticated investor and this is the first time you're really encountering this idea of trading. But these guys on this program who are your mentors, what they're doing is they're posting pictures in supercars and private jets and all this sorts of thing, telling you that you can have the lifestyle that they have for just $50 a month. You see, this is the kind of thing that drives me nuts. And if that wasn't enough to kind of deter you, one thing they did was they had Jordan Belfort, okay? Here's the thing about Jordan Belfort. I think people watch The Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort's the main character in The Wolf of Wall Street. He was a real life person, and now he's kind of building this sales company. Jordan Belfort's not an aspirational figure. He's not someone you strive to be. The reason Wolf of Wall Street's a great movie is because it shows you what not to be. It shows you what money and opulence and all this stuff can do to a person. They had Jordan Belfort advertise Raging Bull in a commercial. Like, he was the spokesman for this. Like, would you have Jeffrey Epstein support your dating site? Like, this is ridiculous. Would you go on a dating site where Jeffrey Epstein, like, come on, how do you not see this stuff? But all in all, you know, rant aside, what's happening is just so satisfying to me. It's justice, because what we have is all these different investors who are gonna get excited about the markets, and they're gonna go to TikTok and they're gonna Google how to start day trading in the market. They're gonna try to figure out how they can get rich quick, because it appears that in late 2020, that's happening to everybody. So if someone is you know, not quite as sharp as you, and they're not quite as educated as you, and they're not quite as wealthy as you, and they're not quite as whatever as you, and they're making way more money than you. That is going to lead a lot of people to places like Raging Bull, and thank goodness they have officially had a lawsuit and a total restraining order. If you go to their website now, it just says, hey, we have a restraining order. It's like in a big disclaimer. You can't even go down to the website, and I don't even believe you can sign up. The chickens have come home to roost, and this company has essentially been found of completely defrauding people of all their money. You see, what a good trading scam does is it ensures that like half the people actually make some money. But when you go to the Better Business Bureau reviews of this company, it's just trash talk after trash talk after trash talk. People saying, hey, I signed up for this thing, it made me no money, I lost my retirement, and I won't even get a refund. I want to get my 50 bucks back. And this will be better explained by the FTC's filing. I mean, the crazy thing is this isn't regulated by the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, right? Because they're not registered. They're not licensed people. This isn't regulated by the SEC, so the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, has to step in and take over because these guys, it even says in their disclaimer, they're not qualified to give investment advice. It says that in their disclaimer. The FTC alleged that the defendants, Raging Bull, fraudulently marketed investment-related services that they claimed would enable consumers, here's my favorite part, to make consistent profits and beat the market. Instead, the FTC alleges, okay, so here's the real deal, many of the retirees, immigrants, have lost at least $137 million in the scam in just the last 3 years. The defendants claim in their pitches that consumers don't need a lot of time, money, or expertise, and that the global coronavirus pandemic represents a fantastic time to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn their secret techniques. All right, guys, I'm glad this company's done. I'm glad that a company like Raging Bull actually gets held accountable, and that over time we might see some accountability for these online trading scams, guys. I think it's so important that we understand that if you're feeling that FOMO and you're being sold an opportunity to get rich, that is someone else getting rich off of you. And luckily, yes, these guys did use your money for private jets, and they're probably going to jail. Anyways, thanks for listening to me rant today. If you got any value of this video whatsoever, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Press subscribe as well. I'd really appreciate that. And turn on post notifications for more videos just like this one every single week. Until next time.